And welcome to another edition of East LA Sports Scene as we come back into the studio again for the summer of 2015. We're bringing our programming to you via the interview and the in-person guests. And we're coming to you all from the Boyle Heights Technology and Youth Center right here in the heart of Boyle Heights and 4th and Gless. And if you're in the area, please make it a moment here. Take a moment and come by and see this very great educational and youth and technology center here for our community. So here we go now with our next guest, and he's coming to us from another division, another, as we would call it, another part of sports. It's a very, very important one, and sometimes it's more overlooked than normal because all we see on TV is a lot of the coaches and players. But in those very, very critical preseason, during the season, and postseason times, there is a trainer, there is a strength and conditioning coach, and to fill that role and to fill that occupation right here with us today, Justin Magallanez, and he's come in to be our guest here on East LA Sports, and we welcome.
Appreciate it. Thank you,
Justin,
very much.
how you doing?
I'm very good, very good.
Good to have you, and thanks for coming. And as I mentioned, this is a very, very integral and important part of sports in anyone,
Exactly.
in any particular sport. But you are very, very well focused in football. Okay.
Football and many other sports, but yeah, I've been very blessed to just coach that main sport and to be considered a professional in that sport.
And you come as the owner of your own business enterprise, Creatin Monsters. You're also the strength and conditioning coach at the LA KISS, the Arena Football League, and more recently now with the Bishop Amat Lancers as their strength and conditioning coach. We want to congratulate you on all three of those, if we can, at the same breath, because you are a very busy young man, and of course, providing a very, very critical service. Justin, let's go back now, if we can, to start the story, because that's what we do here in East LA Sports Scene, is tell your story for our viewers to know you and appreciate you and know the importance of what you do for our youth and, of course, for those professional athletes. So, born and raised in East Los Angeles.
Yes, I grew up on Olympic and record.
Okay.
My grandparents were highly involved in the church community at Lady of Victory for 50 years until we moved out to Chino, California.
Okay.
And I was born in West Covina, but we raised in East LA.
Okay. So you're very well familiar with the community.
Oh,
and
yes.
Of course,
Yes.
You've seen so many of your friends that you grew up with, and also maybe some colleagues who are now in the adult world of work and maybe doing things in sports as well. But you've had a very good role here in the community to see our youngsters in play and how they were going to progress as athletes. And let's talk about where that interest arose, because you were also an athlete yourself.
Yes, I went to Damien High School in LaVerne, California. From there, I went to Chaffey College to continue my playing experience there. Finished my degree within a year and a half, and gave my AA. I took a lot of classes. Then from there, I transferred to Azusa Pacific University, where I finished off my degree there in exercise science, and still playing football at the same time.
Oh, okay.
Then from there, I had a cup of coffee in the league with the San Diego Chargers training camp. Okay. And from there, just going back and forth in the business, and even finished off with the Arena Football League as well in Spokane Shock. And throughout that time, I've always loved what it was going to take to prepare my body for the next season, whether being getting faster, getting stronger, but the main part was being mobile and flexible throughout the years. Not until my senior year in high school, I decided to really pursue what I wanted to do. And with that time, I had a coach myself coach me and prepare me for the following seasons. And within that time, he's taught me so much where I started gaining interest already. I was like, let's see what the next step is. What can I do? And next thing, when I started doing it by myself, I was getting attention from other people, and they're saying, "What's this for? Why did I do that?" And I was kind of like, "Well, let's go do it together." And the whole evolving coaching grew into me at a young age. And now being 30, 12 years later, my experience from a strength and conditioning standpoint has grown from that time.
Okay, so you're in a very good position to have made that transcendency from an athlete to now know more of how to keep your body
Exactly.
in shape and keep it firm and with stamina and strength and all those things that many athletes and many of the common man or woman take for granted.
Oh yeah, it's a struggle just because we there's many trainers out there, and anyone can say I'm from here, I did this. That's great. I always compliment them. Very good. Welcome to the industry. The one thing I really preached the most was practice what you preach. For me, having a lot of injuries over the years, sitting through physical therapy tables and listening to them how they talk, I kind of taught myself how to take care of myself.
Okay.
And from that standpoint, I preached on to the young athletes, like, you got to take care of yourself.
Sure.
You got to do this. You got to do whatever it takes to make sure that you're prepared for everything.
And as you mentioned, that is a very all-encompassing word, industry. And that, of course, signifies work.
Exactly.
And there's work from the athlete and work from those that take care of those athletes to keep them in, as they say, in top shape and ready to perform at any given notice. So from the football, let's see, we covered that at your high school and college level, and even into the professional, into the NFL. But at some point when you were younger, was there a flag football, and then was there that progression from a flag to Pop Warner, and then
there
as
was
you moved
flag
up?
football. There was flag football. I was obviously a little hefty kid, as you could say. I was a little when I was younger, so I couldn't really make way in Pop Warner. I went to school in Monterey Park, St. Thomas Aquinas Elementary.
Nice.
And they had a flag football team, and I was highly involved in that. My dad just signed me up, and I just did it. Then I had a coach when I went to high school. His name's Bob Byers.
Yes.
He said, "What do you got between 3 and 5 o'clock in the afternoon?" I go, "Nothing."
Okay.
And he's like, "I'm gonna sign you up for football," and that's how football career started from there.
And we failed to mention the position, because you're a very strong young man, and I'm going to say either on the line or linebacker or.
I all through high school and college, I was a offensive lineman. I was a center guard.
Yes.
Then in the professional level, I became a fullback. And so kind of transitioned just different, just about 4 yards behind the line. So I'm very familiar with putting my hand in the dirt.
Okay. Now, we also mentioned here the fact that you have, in the Arena Football League, you're also connected with those players through the LA Kiss.
Yes.
Let's talk a little bit about that.
I just received a job, I want to say 12 weeks ago. There was 2 previous strength coaches prior to me. I went in as an intention as be as an intern or an assistant, and just through contacts and just keep, as you say, just bugging in a way where what's going on for this week, what's going on. I finally got the call, and I came in. I met with Bruno Silva, who's the head athletic trainer for them, and when we talked, and he goes, "What's your availability?" And when I came in there, here's a plan for what I have, and let's roll with it. And the strength coach prior, we met, and he's like, "Okay, this is what I have going on," and soon later, my work was being recognized, and I just transitioned to being the head strength and conditioning coach for the LA Kiss. So I've been on with for 12 weeks now. Okay. Yeah.
And as you mentioned, kind of going backwards a little bit from the LA Kiss, and then having that training camp with San Diego Chargers, APU, of course, coming out with your degree.
Yes.
As you mentioned, in exercise, was it science?
Exercise science.
Yes. And, of course, from Damien. Kind of that going backwards, but then you all look at it now, and it was all for a reason.
Yes.
Because it prepared you for your profession now.
I really had a great education at Damien. Everyone says, it's schools here, the schools here, but it's kind of where you put how you put the work into it. You put your education into where, can you apply yourself? And that was what my grandparents and my parents always told me. Can you apply yourself towards, getting to what you want to do? And throughout that time, I really took that initiative, just saying, okay, I got to do whatever it takes to be on top of my game.
Yes.
And obviously, education has really helped me as far as becoming to my career is now, and even to where I'm teaching my son, where education is your main goal and priority in life.
Yes.
No matter what. We're always teaching ourselves, no matter what.
Absolutely. And I want to go over this one note here on your certifications. as well. Can you mention a little bit about that?
Oh, I've been very blessed to have so many certifications, 17 certifications, if I can remember, from CSCS, NASCM,
Wow.
the CPTs, the PS, CES for the NASM certification, TRX, CrossFit, and they were just going on over. Within the 12 years, I've been just doing this, and whatever was offered, so I'm gonna just take it. And throughout the old years, I've literally just grasped whatever I was learning from those certifications and put into my own methods in a way.
And I don't want to break this train of thought, but on those certifications, because they're all acronymed, they are, though, would you say the very highest level of certifications for our viewers to kind of just know, maybe if you can explain what they were, the correct title.
The CSCS is Certified Strength and Conditioning Specialist.
Okay.
That's the highest of the highest.
Yes.
If you want to be a professional strength coach like I am, and also a collegiate strength coach, you're going to need this certification, but it requires a degree to say you completed school for that.
Okay.
The NASM is the exact same thing, but it's a National Association of Sports Medicine.
Oh, there you go.
And they have 3 different levels between certified personal trainer to physical exercise science and this corrective exercise specialist to that one.
Okay.
So performance exercise specialist, PS, I'm sorry.
Okay.
So I've accomplished all those 3 certifications in that realm of that area.
And we acknowledge, or we highlight and accent the education, because we've had many of the student athletes who, when I've asked them and interviewed them, what do you see yourself, getting your degree in? And many said kinesiology.
Right.
And I know there's some correlation of that type of study with what you do when what you receive. So this is good because it also accents the fact that if you're not a player, you can still come in and get that education in your field and in your industry. So something for our viewers out there to think about at some point if they are going through that vocational call or they want to pursue a study that could lead to something of this nature.
And I get asked all the time, what did I want to be when I grew up? I never wanted to be a strength coach when I grew up. I always wanted to be an astronaut. I'm really fond of planets and comets, and to a point where my mom purchased my first telescope, and I was really ecstatic to have that. Oh. And so I thought I was going to be an astronaut when I grew up.
Okay.
Then throughout the years when I was in school, I grew fond of science and the way the body moved.
Nice.
And I had a really great teacher, Mr. Cusimano. He's my chemistry teacher at Damien High School.
Okay.
And he had inspired me to really go into that field.
Okay.
And throughout the years, even when I still go back to Damien High School, I shake his hand and say, thank you. Thank you for allowing me to pursue my career, what I wanted to do.
Great.
And he's like, well, I never had nothing to do with it. And I'm like, well, you had a lot to do with it.
And that's always the case. You don't understand at that moment, but when you grow up and look back, hey, very, very important person in your life as a teacher and as a friend. We're going to take a quick break right now on our first segment here, speaking with Justin Magallanez, and he has a tremendous story here. We're just starting. We're going to take a break because when we come back, we're going to be speaking about his Creatin Monsters. And, of course, we're going to come back and speak with him on a very, very important position that he plays right now as the strength and conditioning coach for the Bishop Amat Lancers. And we'll come back after this quick break. This is East LA Sports Scene. Don't go away. Right back at you. Hey, welcome back. Now speaking with Justin Magallanez, and he is the head strength and performance coach for the Bishop Amat Lancers, and he is ready to kick things off. As they say, football season is only moments away, and we're in mid-July, late July now, and by August, end of August, there goes the first game, and your business and your industry and your job right now is critical. And Justin, let's talk a little bit about the environment and the team, the preparations that you're doing now at Bishop Amat.
I'm going on my first month with the team, which, by the way, I love it. These kids work. That's the first thing I told them when I first became and introduced myself. It was like, all I want you to do is work. I'm not expecting you to wow and dazzle me. It's just we just need to get ready for first week. And we got Mater Day our first week. And when I came into this position, I came with a bad intentions kind of outlook. We're just going to get ready. Obviously enough, the science part and the acknowledgement part as far as my position, I kind of took the bull by the horns and saying, let's get ready to go, and I'll coach on the way. And these kids have grasped and accepted me as their new coach, because prior to Bishop Amat, I was at Rancho Cucamonga High School, and I was their head strength coach for them for the last 3 years. And within the last 3 years, we have decreased injury by 85%. And this is my whole intention as Bishop Amat, was to make sure there's injury prevention. But the most part was that by the end of the season, we're still going to max out. We're still going to get faster, still going to get stronger. And obviously enough to be less injured, and to the point where we can still play a full game, another 10 games, if anything like that. But, you know, roll game of football, it's 10 games guaranteed.
Yes.
And, you know, we're in the high standards of this high school football.
Oh, well watched and well covered, and a very, very storied program from Bishop Amat as well as other schools in the Southland. And we feel that you're coming back. It seems like the magnet is bringing you back towards where you were raised here in East L.A.
Oh, yeah.
Because Bishop Amat is just very, very close by.
Well, and with Bishop Amat, it was just, you know, by prayer and through guidance where my future help was holding towards my career, and through one of our Andrew Vasquez, one of our athletes, and his family and their blessings, as far as recommending myself to be part of that program. And to tell you the truth, I actually grew up 6 houses down from Bishop Amat on Sunkiss and Amar. My parents grew up there, so it was kind of like and my wife went to Amat as well. And so it was just kind of like a family upbringing as far as when I walked in there. I don't want to be looked at as a Damien guy. I just want to be the strength coach. But the best thing I got from Bishop Amat was welcome to the family. And that's how I quit my business with that too. So and after that. But Amat has a great tradition, has great football, great school, where, you know, our son's probably going to go there. And the last thing is that it's a lot of tradition goes into that school.
Absolutely.
And I'm very blessed to be part of that tradition now.
And now your relationship with head coach, Coach Haggerty, right?
Coach Haggerty, yes.
And his staff and all and the players, of course. And you have your hands are busy. You were busy all day. Might there be an assistant to help you with a team of this size?
It's in
the
works.
Very big team.
It's in the works. That's just, let's see how everything goes this year. But everyone around the staff helps out. So they just say, what do you got to do, Coach? What do you want me to do? And they're everywhere. And that's a blessing to have. And just to take charge of that and just be able to walk around and coach at the same time while other coaches are coaching their athletes at the same time, it's a blessing. It takes a lot of weight off my shoulders. But we have 3 different groups, from our freshman group that started at the beginning, then go into our JVs, then we go into our varsity. The varsity gets the last round, which is the best thing because you always want to go out with a bang. And, you know, it's been a great experience. And we just, matter of fact, this week we actually lift the whole world. That's what I always say. Let's lift the whole world and see where we're at. And these kids have PR'd for 10 pounds and everything. And minimal. And they don't even know it yet. And I told them, this is only the beginning. Let's get ready to go.
Yes. And you're very eager. You're really ready to, as they say, get to work. And because you know the importance of your job and your duties, it's going to be imparted to the players. And, of course, as they say, part of the game is all mental as well. And physical, is naturally it's there. But how do you stay strong, stay fit? And should you have an injury during the season, how overcomable is that? And what does it mean for future? So you're almost going to be, as they would say, an advisor to some of the kids when they really are in need of your consultations and know, hey, Coach Magallanez or Mr. Magallanez, I'm hurting today, and whatever the case may
Right.
be, you're going to have to work with them and the coaches to resolve that.
And that was part of the job. That was part of the job title, was to work with athletic trainer.
Mhm.
And I've worked very, very well with my previous athletic trainers.
Mhm.
Even in the NFL, when I was coaching, strength coach for the NFL teams.
Yes.
It is when you're in communication with all the coaches, what's going on, it makes everything so much easier.
Yes.
And especially when you have an athlete saying, I'm hurt, or this person's hurt, and we're all on the same page, it makes everything so much easier to produce.
Yes.
If an injury is occurring, you let the athletic trainer know, and the athletic trainer tells you the results or the problem. Can you fix it? And it's there's always working. You're always working.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we are now going to, as I would say, segue into Creatin Monsters, the owner and
Yes.
entrepreneur for your own business. And let's take some time now, Justin, to kind of flip the coin, so to speak, and talk about how this started.
Yeah.
Because you seem to be very, very energetic, open to helping youngsters, or it might be adults. But let's hear a little bit more about the program.
Creating Monsters, it's a funny story. Creating Monsters started with my son.
Oh,
He
okay.
one day I was working in another gym, and I had my first athletes, Nick Davila, who is the starting quarterback for Arizona Rattlers right now. He's my best friend.
Arena Football League.
Arena
One of
football,
the
too.
I've done a little reading on him, and
Yeah.
he is the most, I think, renowned player
Yes.
as a quarterback in the
Yes.
Arena Football League. Wow, very interesting.
Tyler Alice, played University of Colorado and played Houston Texans. Tyler Stallwalt, he was a baseball player for Fresno State, and is a brother of Tyler Alice. Now he's a pitcher for the Minnesota Twins.
Wow, okay.
And those main three were my first, I could say, monsters. And
nice.
one day, I don't know what I was thinking. I was just like, let's do this, let's do this, let's do this. And my son goes, Dad, you're creating monsters. And just
Wow.
a little 5-year-old said this
Yes.
at the time.
Nice.
And throughout that year, I just kept the name.
Okay.
And I produced more athletes. Then after so many years working through the fitness industry and gyms, corporate gyms, I decided to tell my wife, I don't want to do this no more.
Oh,
I want to go on my own.
okay.
How much money do we have? And
Yes.
which is, if you're a gym owner, or if you're a gym owner right now, money is very, very, very tight.
Sure.
Yeah. So we had $400 in our pocket, and through the grace and blessing through our families, we gutted out our garage, 2-car garage, 100 square
Okay.
foot, and we started creating monsters in our garage. And throughout all those years, now 3.5 years going in deep, we've had produced, I believe, the top athletes in San Diego Valley.
Okay.
And now I'm training guys all around the world. From China to
nice.
Europe,
Okay.
France. I have an athlete that was playing in France. Now he's back, and all over the country. And
Okay.
different NFL teams now, arena teams.
Okay.
And
And might I just ask a question here in terms of that type of clientele? There's the pro level, there's the
Collegiate.
Olympic level, and there's the high school, of
High
course,
school.
and the institutional level. And might there be an everyday group of folks
Yeah.
that
yes,
wanna
I
do
have
this?
I have my call my adult monsters.
Okay.
Yeah, so we have little categories here.
Okay.
We have a high school monsters, college monsters,
interesting.
pro monsters.
Okay.
And throughout the years, I started off with 7 guys, and those 3 include I just mentioned earlier. Another athlete, Andrew Hauser. Now he's a starting nose tackle for Cal Poly San Luis Obispo.
Okay.
Eric Ortiz, he's a starting linebacker for Fresno State right now.
Nice.
Julian Jenner, another Bishop alumni. Starting linebacker for University of Hawaii.
Wow.
Justin Torres, he is going to be a senior he's the youngest, he's the baby of the
okay.
babies.
Okay.
To enter senior in high school at West Covina High School.
Nice.
So
okay.
those 7 have been the OMs, I call them the original monsters.
Okay.
And we've been very blessed to have those grow on us, and now them being adults and professional athletes in their areas.
Okay.
And we have produced we work from kids from 8 to adults now.
Okay.
And my wife and I have been very, very blessed to work with those guys.
And for our viewers that would like to tap into this energy that you have, this synergy about helping and making sure people can stay fit and stay strong and enjoy their workouts and enjoy their sports, can the public find you?
Yes, we're located in Glendora. We out of the garage, we moved out into Glendora and into a facility off Lone Hill and Route 66 off 210.
Okay.
So we were in a 500 square foot facility now. So we
Mm-hmm.
kind of grew out of the garage a little bit. No more running down the streets, as you say.
Yes.
And throughout that time, now we're starting to look to expand.
All right.
But Creatin Monsters is everywhere. We're online.
Yes. That's if you have your website up.
I'm through more of a social media, so Instagram. So
there you go. Whatever you'd like to. We'll put it up on our graphic as well. But if people wanted to reach out to you very quickly after they see the program, is there a way they can find you on social media?
I work mainly through Instagram and a little bit now Facebook, but I've grown more on Instagram.
Nice.
And through Gmail and just, it's all by word of mouth.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, now to give the thing that my wife and I really, really preach most is that we're not here for the money. We're giving back to our youth. We're giving back to our athletes that are looking to better themselves like we were.
Okay.
I always say I want the athletes that train like I did.
Yes.
Or train like me. Who are the same mentality as me. And we have been very, very blessed to have those athletes around us.
All right.
And I always say the best in San Gabriel Valley because obviously there's LA County, there's the IE, and but just a little radius that we have grown, we have been recognized through all around the world of what we've been doing.
Well, Justin, don't be surprised if through some coordinated effort, East LA Sports Scene can coordinate a session here for our kids right here in the barrio, right here in East LA. Might you be open to that?
Oh yeah, I'm always about giving back to the community.
Okay.
I'm always giving back to our youth.
Okay.
Where I once was a kid, always looked up to professional athletes. Walter Payton, my favorite athlete. My dad was a big Cowboys fan, so. Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith, Charles Haley, which is my favorite defensive lineman. So I'm always getting back to our youth, and even just to have a professional athlete come with me and just to put,
nice
to guide our youth and saying, look, this is the way you do it, and that just makes the day.
Okay, and making our day here, Justin Magallanes, we're going to take a quick break, our second break of the show. And when we come back, we're going to put on, or Justin's going to put on a demonstration, just something very brief, something very quick, but very good for our viewers to get the context of a strength and conditioning, a coach or trainer who is very into his particular field of work, and that happens to be strength and conditioning. We're going to be right back in a moment. Don't go away. A nice demonstration coming your way on East LA Sports Scene with Justin Magallanes. And here we go. We're back, as we promised, here with a demonstration from Justin Magallanes, our in-studio guest today on East LA Sports Scene. And Justin, we're going to give a promo, so to speak, or a demo to our viewers. And you want to talk about it first?
Yeah, this is basically, anyone can do this. It's basically my first day, my basic movement training system, where from youth to high school, collegiate, and professional will do this. Every level has their own type of advancement, but this is basic, and this is very, very simple.
And the drill will be called, or the movement will be called?
Two-step shuffle, crossover drill, and that's basically a shuffle and a crossover.
Shuffle and a crossover, and here we go. Justin Magallanes, on your mark, sir.
So basically we're working on a two-step shuffle. Obviously enough, we're always talking about athletic base. We're working where can an athlete be able to decelerate and accelerate the same, change direction at any type of meter. So from here, with two-step shuffle. So basically, what I always say, we have a trail leg. A trail leg basically is the backside leg is basically going to counteract with the lead leg, and almost gotta say kiss it. Try to kiss it and avoid it. So whenever I count, I tell my athletes, right, 1, you want to take the trail leg, move this leg first rather than this one, because basically when we add time, we're getting slower. I don't want to get slower. I want to get faster. So from here, when I say 1, I want to move fast as possible, try to get the trail leg to kiss the lead leg without even touching it. And from there, I go by 2, 3, 4, 5, and you can go different movements as well. Oh, you can count that one up. And not fall. You can count doubles by reactions. You can even go by directions, by calls. We call it a sensory. We call it a auditorial.
Okay.
Different aspects as far as the agility.
And quickly now, because we see that you are ready with your top, your shorts, and your shoes. Anything special that the athletes need to come with certain type of shoes or?
It depends on wherever the service is. Sometimes I have my guys going barefoot. Sometimes I have my athletes go with their regular shoes, or in cleats, whatever their sport is.
Okay. Yeah. Now, let's go to the second movement.
Yes, and the second movement is exact same cone, and you can use any cones you want. If you have 15, 20 kids, all you got to do is certain cones. Okay. We're going to crossover stuff. Crossover shuffle. So now we're taking the same leg that we're rather going from here, but now we're taking it across our body into a matter where a multi-direction is being used to counter either going left and right and basically reaction. So if we're playing, for example, football, if I'm basically taking the trail leg, moving one direction, I plant, I have to redirect to the other way. So that's basically our crossover movement. And same thing as a two-step shuffle, auditorial, sensory, by counting, doubles, all different aspects as far as what we do here.
Okay. And in real time, one more time for that second movement?
Oh, sure. Crossover, exact same thing. I'll count 1, 2, 3, 4. But notice how I'm always having an athletic base. That's what you, as a coach, always teaches, athletic base.
Okay. And for a third movement?
Third movement is basically a put it all together now.
Oh, okay.
So the first two-step shuffle, you start with the same side trail leg, and you can count when I say 1, you shuffle, 2, 3, 4. And have you noticed that before it was the exact same movement we just did, just broke it up.
Okay. And should we go for a third movement?
I get a little bit tired.
Okay.
You know,
Okay, and in wrapping this brief demo, the intensity level, when they're training under you, Justin, might that go from, as they say, you warm up and then you keep it building it up to the next level?
Yes, our warm-ups, everyone thinks it's a little bit crazy, but our warm-ups are 17 minutes minimal. Okay. And only reason why, because that's how long it takes for your body to fully go. Okay. But this is simple drills. If I had an 8-year-old and I had an NFL player, they do the exact same stuff.
Same thing. And the time, just for our viewers to understand it, the time that they would need to devote to the exercising here with you, might it be an hour and 15?
It depends on the level. My youth, my young monsters, they go to an hour. My high school monsters go about an hour and 10 minutes. My collegiate go for 90 minutes, and my professional athletes go for 2 hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it all will depend on the level that the person comes in to the conditioning program. Okay, we're going to come back now after this break here and go back to our set and begin to wrap things up here with Justin Magallanes, the owner, the entrepreneur of Creatin Monsters, the strength and conditioning coach at Bishop Amat, the Lancers, and also with the LA Kiss, the Arena Football League. And he's giving us at least a demonstration here of what he does, and just magnify it to the 10th degree, and you will understand that this is serious work, and we'll be right back to wrap things up here on East LA Sports Scene. Don't go away. We hope you're enjoying the program. Be right back. Okay, and welcome back to our final segment here of the program. We've been speaking with Justin Magallanes, and strength and conditioning coach, and as also the head strength and performance coach. The names and titles of the jobs now are changing, as Justin mentioned earlier on, and it's really a dynamic job that he has. He's really in the middle of every movement that the athletes do, and every progression and every step of the way. so to speak, on
Right.
their personal journeys in the sport. And we thank Justin for coming in and giving us a tremendous look into his industry and the work that he does. As we continue now, Justin, let's take time here to go over a little bit more on your background in terms of some of the achievements of the awards and accolades that you've attained.
My best award was obviously navigating my degrees and my certifications. And throughout that time, I was very, very blessed to work at probably the top industries of strength and conditioning.
Yes.
Velocity Sports Performance out in Irvine. That's the mecca of strength and conditioning for any type of sports performance. Through there, I got to work with a lot of NFL teams as well. One of them being the Patriots and the other being the Jets. Then Division I schools, and also my best achievement is basically when I opened up my garage. You know, I got to work with the best of the best. You know, it's not just one area. It wasn't one sport. It was multi-sports.
Yes.
And seeing the success of my athletes was the best achievement I ever had.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. That is certainly a very, very good indicator of the success factor, because if they're successful, you're successful in terms of bringing that constant cycle of athletes.
Exactly.
They will be here forever as long as we're playing sports. Okay.
Exactly.
And that's just the way it is here in America. Of course, we love our sports, and we have so many gifted athletes here. My goodness, we can go on and on on for a long, long time. Now, let's talk about your biggest influencers in life. It's, as they say, it's you've had a very good supporting and surrounding team of members to help you.
Well, first, it was my grandparents. They are the mecca. I put them on top.
Okay.
They have really set my foundation of being a parent, a husband, and just to be a leader. For my grandfather and my grandmother to be involved in the church for so many years, I got to witness them being highly in faith. And using our faith for everything.
Yes.
And knowing Grandma really pushed me to be, to put God first. That was the main thing.
And the grandparents are?
Shirley and Luciano Magallanes, or Louis Magallanes.
Okay.
My parents are my second influence, just because they have always pushed me towards a goal that I always wanted. They were never saying you will never make it, or if I had an idea, they have always supported what I wanted to do. And they are the best parents I can ask for. Louis Magallanez Jr. and Lydia Martinez. They both went to Garfield High School. My dad graduated in 75. My mom graduated in 1979.
Okay.
And
all right.
And my last one is my wife and my son.
Yes.
My wife and my son have been my biggest supporters as far as what I've been doing. And obviously they're my goal to because basically I'm the one supporting them.
Sure.
And if I'm successful, they're successful.
Yes.
And they're the ones who have always pushed me to be the top of what I want to do.
Yes.
And
their names?
Crystal Magallanez and Damien Magallanes.
Okay. The rock and the core right there for Justin, as it should be in any family, and a young family at that, who are on their journey in life. And we want to wish you all the best as you continue in a family environment, family setting, Justin, because you are going to be a busy man.
Oh, yes.
Very, very busy.
Oh, yes.
Now, quickly, when you're not in the gym, when you need that quiet time to yourself or quiet time with family, I've always asked our guests some of the favorites, just so our viewers can have a glimpse into what you do when you're not so tied up with work. And as you notice, I've asked them maybe for some categories here for some favorite players that that you like.
Well, I mean, I always grew up watching Walter Payton. You know how he ran the ball and how he was always giving back to the community.
Yes.
And obviously, my dad loved the Cowboys. He still loves the Cowboys. So every Sunday was watching the Cowboys play Troy Aikman.
Sure.
And Emmitt Smith. Also, too, My grandfather loves the Chicago Bulls, so we used to watch Michael
Jordan.
and next to know, my dad was always a Lakers, so we had bittersweet rivals there.
Okay. All right.
But normally on even though I work Monday through Sunday, and everyone says,
Yes.
Sunday's God's day.
Yes.
I do work on Sundays.
Okay.
But normally Sundays are movie days, spend time with the family.
Okay.
And also to I try to read. Everyone goes, "Oh, do you read books?" I try to. Kids, I do try. Okay. I do try to always update myself with my profession. Because I always got to study. I always got to teach myself.
Sure. And you mentioned movies. Anyone all-time favorite movie?
Rocky. Rocky.
Okay.
Basically, our whole entire family has lived off the Rocky model.
Yeah.
Even when we opened up our gym in the garage, it was a Rocky mentality.
Okay.
You train where you train, and don't care it's snowing outside to where rusty bars. You train how you train, and literally the point where our family model has lived off that movie, just because we have experienced it.
Yes. Okay, and I've asked also for music, reading, like you say, books, authors, anything that you'd like to mention there. Or music, of course, music as well.
With music, it's always a variety. Whatever's in the gym.
Yeah.
My guys listen to hip hop. They listen. I got another guy named Cody Clay. He's a guard for the Atlanta Falcons. He listens to the heavy metal.
Okay.
So I gotta learn to listen to that. I have another athletes that listen to country.
Sure.
My wife loves country.
Sure.
And then obviously my parents love their disco.
Okay.
Love their disco.
Okay. And finally, on the literature side, you do, like you say, you like to read, and when you have time to see what's on the top selling list, or?
I always go in the strength and conditioning side. There's Kelly Starrett's How to Be a Supple Leopard. Super trained by Yuri Verkhosky. Another one is the Triphasic System by Carl Dietz. A Power by Plyometrics by Jim Ratcliffe.
Okay.
Those are my main ones I always go by, just to always teach myself how to do something.
Okay. All right. I think that's going to bring our up close and personal look at Justin Magallanes. And as I've always done, Justin, to my guests, I give you basically your last words here prior to us signing off. And feel free to convey any thoughts or any messages you'd like to our viewers.
Just first of all, thank you very much for bringing me in. Even though I am a very busy man, but I do make time for those who are interested in what I'm doing.
Okay.
And obviously, I'm always getting back to the youth, and I can be reached out at Creatin Monsters at gmail.com. Okay. Instagram is CM _ JMAGZ, JMAGZ. That's my Instagram info, and my email's under there as well. Get a hold of me.
Okay.
And if you are just beginning in this industry, or if you're a parent trying to see what can I do with my youth, I post up daily.
Okay.
And some examples there. I'm not afraid to share my knowledge, or if someone's willing to call me or ask me what am I doing, just let me know. Okay. And I just want to thank my grandparents.
Okay.
Thank my mom and dad, my wife Crystal, Damien, my son, and a couple other people that I've worked with right now is Rick Rodriguez, Jonathan Posey, Saul Martinez, my extended family, the Davilas.
Okay.
So those people have really, really been my backbone and my vertebrae to what I do every day.
The core support group.
The core
there
support.
You go, the core.
Yeah.
And lastly, I wanted to mention this earlier, but I wanted to make sure that your logo.
Yeah. My son, he designed it.
Yes,
so.
very, very nice. And imagine that, 5-year-old.
He was 5.5, going to turn 6, and now he's 12. He's almost as tall as me, and he's going to be one of those those athletes you want to look out for.
All right. And there it is. You see him, almost reminded me of the Hulk. But there he is, and that is the Creatin Monsters logo. Again, Justin Magallanes, we wish him all the best of success and the best in life. And, of course, great success at Bishop Amat this coming season, the LA Kiss, and, of course, his own business enterprise, Creatin Monsters. Remember, we will continue with our in-studio programs here, and we just thank you, Justin, for coming in.
You.
And my parting thoughts, as always, if you are into a team sport, you see them right here. There's soccer, there's basketball, football, rugby, individual, there's boxing. But if you're not into team sports, if you're a walker, you're a jogger, a swimmer, it doesn't matter. Get that workout in. It's very important because, as I always mention, stay healthy. You will be wealthy. We'll see you on our next edition of East LA Sports Scene. Thanks for watching, and take care.